Hey everyone, I'm Tori Anderson.
And I am Corbin Bleu, and we are so excited for our all new original movie, Campfire Christmas, which is a part of Hallmark's Christmas in July.
And we have a couple questions at Hallmark Channel Sent our way that we'll be answering. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question is in Campfire Christmas, we are part of a group of friends who reunite at the camp where they first met for one last Christmas in July. Without giving too much away, can we share a little more about our movie?
Well, it is not only about the two of us who end up reuniting, but this entire group of friends, and it's really about like three separate different relationships, which is really nice. I feel like for a Hallmark movie, we get the opportunity to explore a different take on relationships from each of their perspectives, um, and how they've grown, how life we look at it from one way when we're younger, and then as we grow, the perspective shifts, and we get to see them try to figure out and navigate those obstacles.
Yeah, and I mean to continue on that. I mean,
Mhm.
the last time you've seen these characters is 15 years ago. So they're friends who have grown up together. So you kind of see second chances a lot. You see a lot of I think camp, what the most amazing thing about camp is it's in the land of firsts. So you have so many of your first experiences, but it's such a great ensemble cast and some of these characters are actually going through their firsts, in this journey. So you get to see everyone kind of go through all this stuff, and I mean, it makes you laugh. It pulls at your heartstrings. You get to celebrate Christmas in July. I mean, it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And then who doesn't love to celebrate Christmas in July?
No, always. Who would not want to do that?
I've never done it myself, but actually, after having experienced this movie, it's a really cool tradition, and you can see how I think it should be done a lot more often.
Yeah, right. With every
All right, we have another question here. So
Mhm.
while Peyton and Thomas are at Camp Evergreen, they encourage each other and their friends to take chances with their careers and pursue personal relationships. How do we think viewers will connect with our storylines?
Well, I think there's something for everyone in this film, and I think it starts kind of with our wonderful writer Anna White. And they're characters that we just can all relate to, and you see friendship, people coming together, communicating, trying to figure things out. I think, and also, Peyton and Thomas's relationship, you see their friendship and their love for each other, and that they really are kind of best friends. So I think it's just really a story about friendship and what we can learn from each other and how we can grow together. Yeah, that's sort of what I
Yeah.
think.
So it's as we had said before, there's three different relationships that we're experiencing. So when it comes to Peyton and Thomas, uh, that's sort of the high school sweethearts who have then drifted apart, um, and now are trying to figure out how do we reconnect. And then also have a couple that is together, is married, and what all the different obstacles and navigating that comes along with that. And then you have another couple that actually never got together, but had an attraction to each other, and finally getting up the courage to pursue it. Um, it's different views that I think everyone would be able to connect to, depending on wherever they are at in their
Yeah,
lives.
totally. Okay, so when our characters reunite, we reminisce on past Christmas and July traditions and use our talents to make this the best final visit. What are each of our favorite things about our characters?
Hmm. So when it comes to Thomas, I really appreciate his transformation. So Thomas comes to the realization that when him and Peyton were together back when they were younger, um, he he was afraid. He grew up in a household where his parents got married very early, and they didn't really know how to continue the relationship and ended up in a very horrible divorce. So he now has this fear that he's going to end up in the same sort of a situation, and pulls away from his relationship with Peyton and comes to realize years later that this is the person that he has always wanted to be with. But even as they start to reconnect at this camp, all of those fears, all those habits start to nag at him, and he starts to become afraid again. So I really feel like Thomas goes through such a growth throughout the movie, of just understanding that, look, you're not your parents, and you can't let the fears or the habits of what you've built dictate your future.
It's a very nice answer. I like
Thanks,
that.
Tori.
It's like mine's so simple in comparison.
Sometimes it's better.
No, not in this case. Well, with Peyton, I mean, I love her sort of can-do spirit, and her competitive nature. I find in my life, I like to think I'm competitive, but I'm not really. I kind of just always think I'm going to lose, so that way if I win, it's a great thing. But like I love her journey too. I mean, I think so much stems from the relationship of her knowledge of being hurt and what that does and how you close yourself off. And I think one of the biggest things this movie kind of is like a driving force behind it is this idea that if we actually have the conversation and open ourselves up, then you can kind of heal a lot of internal wounds. And that's something that I think Thomas does so well, is he kind of digs at Peyton a little bit to just let him tell his side of the story. And then as soon as he's able to do that, you have a reconciliation. So I like that she's on her own journey as well, and she's able to open up eventually. And she's driven, and she wants to go after what she wants, and she knows what she wants. I mean, she's a little stubborn at times, but I think all the characters are so full of love, and they're really beautiful to watch.
And she's protecting herself. I think that's something that so many people go through is when trust is broken.
Yeah, betrayed in a sense.
Being able to reestablish it is a very difficult and sometimes long journey, and it does take persistence.
Yeah.
It's great to see them go through that.
Yeah. And to talk, like, I just feel like there's so many elements of like she pushes away so much, and then eventually they're able to both open up and see each other's side, which is nice. And I think there's actually, there's so many storylines kind of going on in this show, but I think that's a really nice, it's threaded in really well. So it doesn't feel forced. It feels really natural. And I don't know, you buy it and you believe it. You believe that these are people and this is what they're trying to go through.
Yeah. Okay, so there are so many fun moments, from participating in a water balloon snowball fight to performing a dance in a Christmas pageant. Without giving any spoilers, do we each have a favorite scene that we can't wait for the viewers to see?
The pageant. So there's a pageant that happens at the end of the movie, that gets put on, and it gets put on every year at Camp Evergreen, and it's epic this year. There's a little dance number that we got to learn. Corbin,
or not so little dance number.
It was one. Yeah, I
expected to be a little dance number.
Yeah, we expected it to be like a step touch situation. It was not. It was like Corbin did a Russian. It was a whole thing. So that I'm excited for everyone to see that, and I want to know what people think about that.
Well, that and the costumes, like both Tori and I are living our best elf lives.
Yes.
With our pointy ears and like the full costumes. Matt in his what did we call him?
Like a
Um,
disco Santa
Disco
or like an
Santa.
Elvis Santa.
Oh my god, he's Santa, but he's like
Yeah.
rocker, and he's got this super glittery beard. It's the weirdest,
And
craziest looking thing, but it's so cool and so
and his
epic.
like suit, it's not like a fat Santa suit. It's like he looks so like chic, and then it has like flames on the side, like
Yes.
glittery flames. It's just next
And
level.
then Caitlin is the cutest Rudolph ever.
So
she's,
cute.
she's
So
in
cute.
this full reindeer outfit, and then just as she's doing the pageant, there's a moment when her and Matt are doing a scene for the pageant, and Tori and I are in the back watching, and we always just got this view of Caitlin doing this little like run as Rudolph. And
And it made
every
us
single
like
time
smile so
we're just
big
back
every
there
time.
giggling because it was just the cutest thing
Yeah.
ever. Yeah, it's a real. And then like we had all these strobing lights and this whole like this disco like snow effect. It really turned out to be a much more epic scene than I think any of us had ever expected.
Yeah, and I think that once we shot it, we were so tired, but then we all wished we could just shoot it again and again and again because we had so much fun collectively. Like we were just a mess and having the best time. So fun.
No, I'm with you. That's definitely my favorite scene too. I can't wait for everybody to see that scene.
All right.
It's really fun.
Um, okay, so our characters partake in a lot of festive activities, from indulging in snowman s'mores to playing capture the wreath. Do each of you have a favorite Christmas tradition?
So our Christmas tradition is always ricotta balls, ricotta balls. That I have my Italian mother. I
I
have to
know, I was
say,
like,
I have to
you went
say
with you and so Italian.
ricotta balls. Yeah. Basically, it's ricotta cheese that's then deep fried, and then it's covered in cinnamon and sugar. And that's like our every holiday season those get made because it's a process to make them, and it always requires like an assembly line of people because somebody has to be actually creating the balls, and somebody has to be frying them, and somebody has to be covering them in the cinnamon and sugar while it's so you have like a whole assembly line. But when they're finally done, it's turned into a thing that we always have to make like 4 or 5 times the batch because anytime people find out that we're making them, we're like, you have to give us a bag, please. They're so good.
When do you eat them? Like all day, or is it like a breakfast thing, or is it?
It's technically a dessert, but they taste amazing for breakfast the next morning. They're
How
so
many?
good.
How many do you think you eat in?
Oh, I don't even want to say. I way more than I should. I probably end up eating during the holiday season within like the 3-4 days that they last that we end up making them. I probably go through like 20 of them. They're like this. They're like donut holes.
Right, yeah. You just
But,
keep going with those. They take up no space. You just, you
yeah.
know, enjoy them. It's the holidays you're about.
Calories don't count during the holidays.
No, they don't. They
No.
absolutely don't.
No,
And
no.
especially when you like only make that once a year.
Yeah.
Indulge.
Absolutely. How about you?
Mine is actually something we haven't done in a while, but growing up we would always go to the local hospital and sing Christmas carols for everyone who had to stay overnight in the hospital. And so we had one of the doctors there would like play the bagpipes, which are pretty abrasive in small rooms, but people either liked it or didn't. And just sing Christmas carols. Most of the times a little off key, but it was really fun, and most of the patients liked it. Some weren't super into it, but it was really nice, and it was festive, and all the nurses like loved having us kind of come in and bring some of that festive spirit because no one wants to be in the hospital on Christmas. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite things because it was just a really nice tradition to get out of the house and go and see some people. Yeah.
And so what the spirit of the holiday season is. That's such a beautiful thing that you do.
Yeah.
All right, so we have our whole cast got the unique opportunity of making a summer Christmas movie. Are there any fun behind the scenes stories that we can share? Um, you have something? Well,
Well,
I,
I mean,
what I gotta say, I know it's your story, but I just think it was so cool the fact that we were shooting up in Victoria, like right where you grew up, and you
yeah.
actually like stayed with your family.
Yeah, that was I mean, it's been one of my dreams to shoot on Vancouver Island because it's where I grew up, and then we actually shot half an hour from where I grew up, like my entire life. So it was so surreal um to see all that and to be able to go home and see my parents every day and then them always being marveling at the fact it was such a long day.
I
But
just feel for all of us, we loved the fact that like you would come to set and you would tell us about because you were staying like in your room, like where
yeah, in my
you
like childhood
so
bedroom, yeah.
we're doing this movie about kind of going back to your roots and you know re-experiencing things that you had as a child, and then you're like actually living the movie just in
Yeah.
your room, and you said like there's like parts of the room that haven't changed, like things that you had up as a teenager that
Oh
are
yeah.
still there. That's
It's
so
weird.
cool. I
Yeah,
love
like I
that.
still have my thing that I would hang my jewelry on and like it's exactly the same. Like it hasn't changed. But there's a line in the movie that we're having a conversation that I say like, "Oh, I think growing up here year round, I took it for granted." And I really when I said that line, I was like, that's how I feel. Like I come back home
Mm.
and I just feel like growing up in this beautiful place, I really did take it for granted because it's only when you come home you kind of realize what you had. I mean, Vancouver Island is so magically beautiful. So yeah, it was pretty surreal in a lot of ways. I mean, it was also very cold, and I forgot how cold it was. So I think the cast all really bonded over our just frozen selves. We
Yes.
were so cold. And
Yes.
most of us are coming from
Nothing
LA
brings people
too.
together like an enemy, and the enemy was the cold. That was
Yes, yeah.
we all shared in that experience, and that was different because it's always the opposite with Hallmark Christmas movies, because usually
Mhm.
you shoot them during the summer and you're in sweaters and you're sweating and you're talking about the snow, and we had the complete opposite, that we're in these shorts and t-shirts and sandals, and it's
And you're just
freezing cold. but but it was still fun. I mean, like one of my favorite memories actually, because we had the whole Christmas pageant dance that sort of opened up the door for all of us to have choreography to do and to dance together. And Tori, I know that you grew up dancing, but you hadn't done it for some time,
so long.
and it was so nice because at one point, uh, I taught Tori like a little tap routine,
Yes, I was gonna
and
say
then
that
we
too, yeah.
started just like tapping together. That was so fun.
Okay, but yeah, he taught me a little tap routine, and then he was like, "Oh, you can tap, okay." And so then he took it to the next level, which was so advanced that I was like, "You lost me."
No, and then you did it though.
First
That
two.
was the thing because I started it really really simple, and I was like, she knows what she's doing. So then we really went for it.
Yeah, that was fun. I think that there's also so much active stuff that we did that was so much fun, like the water balloon fight. I mean, watching Caitlin get a water balloon right in her face and explode, and it was like slow mo on the camera, and I felt so bad enjoying that moment. I mean, she was laughing. But it was just this like almost like pancake on her face before it exploded. It was so funny.
And then getting to dump the water on Jeffrey and Alec.
Yeah.
So there's a bit during that snowball fight that uh, our characters actually do dunk this huge thing of water onto their characters, and it was one of those situations where you feel bad, you feel you're like this has to be done, but I just remember Jeffrey, because I think you got to pour it on Jeffrey,
Yeah, yeah,
and I poured it on Alec, and Alec was like, yeah, just dunk me. Jeffrey was like, not the hair,
yeah.
not the hair. I relate. I understood it. I was like, no, not the hair. I was like, Tori, that one's all
I
you.
know, and then I had this added pressure of like pouring like cold water on him already, and then making sure I didn't hit his hair. But we had one take at it, and we nailed it. So
Heck yeah, we did.
yeah.
Um, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, sure. If we were celebrating Christmas in July, what is the one activity we each would want to include?
Well, it's July. It's hot. Anything at the beach or a lake or with water. I always love water sports or a day at the beach. That would be my vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't do this. I mean, if I'm thinking like just in the movie, capture the wreath pop probably, but you're right. Like I would do like a water thing. Like there was something that we did in a regatta once that was like how many people could stand on a log at one time, and it was just in the water, and it was just so fun because no one can stand up, and it's just like this hot mess of a situation. But yeah, something in the water for sure.
Then of course, how do we like translate that to Christmas, right? Because that's what's really cool about the movie is all of the different traditions that are like really summer activities. They have some sort of a twist on them that makes them Christmas. So like there's a water balloon fight, but instead of water balloons, they look like there's so it's a snowball water balloon fight, and then we do instead of capture the flag, it's capture the wreath. So I don't know. I feel like we should have jet skis that are like that look like Santa's sleigh.
They look like reindeer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's we could do a whole like we should all be in like formation, and it should be like Santa's sleigh ride, and different reindeers.
And then you pull someone like tubing behind you who's Santa. You know.
That's it.
That seems really dangerous. A whole bunch of
really dangerous and really
trying to pull one person. But,
don't try it at home, please.
Yeah, don't try it. Okay.
Well, there were so many competitions that our characters participate in at Camp Evergreen to celebrate Christmas in July. So to wrap up our social life, we have a couple of games to play ourselves. Tori, we're going to warm up with a trivia question. So I've got the answer.
Okay.
What year did Christmas in July originally start? Is it A, 1922, B, 1957, or C, 1933?
C, 1933.
Boom!
Right?
You got it.
I think we talk about that in the movie though. So, and I just
you remembered it.
I feel like I had a leg up on that.
Well done. I'm happy that you had to answer that one because I didn't remember.
That's okay. You've been doing a lot. Don't worry about it.
I'm in St. Louis. I'm working on a stage production of Mary Poppins right now, so I'm not in
No, you're not in the Christmas world right now, but you soon will be.
All right.
Okay. So now let's play a rapid fire game of this or that, featuring some activity inspired by Campfire Christmas. We each can pick the option we like best.
All right.
Shall I go first?
Please.
Okay. Decorate a cabin or decorate a Christmas tree?
Oh, decorate a Christmas tree.
Yeah. I agree.
Absolutely decorate a Christmas tree. Decorating a cabin is a lot more involved.
It's a longer process.
Oh, much longer process.
Yeah.
There's a ladder, you're getting up, you got to decorate the whole outside, you got to keep going down, moving the ladder, getting up, doing that whole business.
Yeah.
Christmas tree, you just make a circle. That's all you got to do. It's not.
Oh yeah, and if you don't have enough ornaments, you shove the Christmas tree against a wall, and then you don't have to stress. You know,
absolutely.
You don't have to go get
more.
And
you just really got to decorate the side that people see.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
Yeah. Agree.
All right, make ornaments or make pine wreaths.
Make pine wreaths.
Yeah, I would say make ornaments.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just made a wreath like last year and I really liked it. And there was something about making it yourself and doing it and then hanging it up. I just felt so accomplished. But probably you'd feel the same way with ornaments too.
But you know what? I like your answer because I there is something about also the smell of fresh pine, and actually it really puts you in that Christmas spirit. I know we
Yeah.
had our scene where we're creating the wreaths,
Hmm.
and just in that room, the second you walked in, it smelled like Christmas.
Yeah.
That was really really nice. But I don't know. I also like making ornaments.
I don't know if I've ever made an ornament before.
No.
I mean, maybe like when I was in kindergarten, and that's like what
I
we did
feel
to
like
bring home to our parents is like,
yeah.
like, look what I did today. That's kind of it. I don't know, but I would
It
love to
goes
make an
upon the
ornament.
tree for that 1 year, and then it disappears.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Um, Christmas in July or Christmas in December?
So I am inclined to say Christmas in December because I personally never really celebrated Christmas in July. But after having done this movie, I can definitely see the appeal. So it's I don't know. I think I have to explore celebrating Christmas in July more often to
I
really
have to explore both options.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I feel like I'm a Christmas in December, but that's because that's sort of what I know.
Hmm.
But now it sort of opens up a world of opportunity to celebrate in July too. Because then
Hmm.
it's like I feel like you have to wait so long for Christmas. It'd be nice to
Yeah.
celebrate it both, both times, split it up.
And
Who knows?
also Christmas time in general nowadays, there's so much pressure that gets put on it. It
Yeah.
could just be that same feeling of Christmas, that all the good parts of it, with maybe without the pressure.
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
a good call. I like that.
All right, hot cocoa or snowman s'mores?
I'd probably say hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa.
Yeah.
So when you see the movie Snowman S'mores, if you think about a snowman, you've got the body and then the head and goes up. So it's the same thing. You're using the marshmallows to make your own little snowman. So it's a very very gooey
It's a
s'more.
yeah, it's like a triple s'more.
Yeah.
It's a big mess.
I'm with you though. I love me some hot cocoa.
Yeah, there's something about it that's like cozy and I
Hmm.
love a s'more though. My gosh, I love a
But
s'more, but
it's got to be. I mean, that's a Christmas in December.
yeah, yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
in July, snowman s'mores.
Snowman s'mores, yeah, for
Hmm.
sure, for sure. Play capture the wreath or have a water balloon snowman fight.
I'm gonna say capture the wreath. I definitely have a competitive nature. I love playing games, but I don't want to be hit with water balloons. So I'm gonna go with the wreath.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on the wreath. I think I probably before shooting this, I would have said the water balloon snowball
Hmm.
fight, but after playing capture the wreath, I was like, this is fun. Like running around, it was hectic. Still don't know if I know the whole rules of capture the flag, but just running around is a great
Because
time.
because I think when we shot it, we weren't clear on the rules of what we were doing. There were
We
times
weren't.
where we were in the middle of shooting and people are running in different directions. We're like, we need to set this. We need to figure out like what are the real rules of this game here.
Yeah, we didn't know. And then we got there eventually, but it was like, I remember I was like, so I go into jail. Do I have to get tagged out? What's happening? Because people were just going into jail and then running out. And we just had to figure that out a little bit. But we got there. It just took a minute.
All right, so participate in a Christmas pageant or watch a Christmas pageant.
I feel like I know your answer for this.
I always want to be in the show, baby.
I know,
I
I
always
know
want to be
you
in
do.
the show.
Me too. I think I would wanna participate because I think the great thing is like the rehearsal process and what you're building together as a team. Um, and it's just fun. Like it's so much fun to do with other people and to see everyone's reactions. Yeah, I would say participate for sure.
Yeah, I do love to watch as well. I mean, even just when it comes to theater, I I love going to see a show because it reinvigorates me and it makes me feel like, oh, that's why. This is why. That feeling that it's giving me, that's why I love to do what I do to go up there. So it's always good to watch every once in a while. But the Christmas pageant, it usually only comes around once a year. So
Yeah, it's true.
I want to be in it.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, and we can't wait for you to watch the premiere of our new original Christmas movie, Campfire Christmas.
It is premiering on Saturday, July 16th, 8/7 Central. And of course, it's only on the Hallmark Channel, so be sure to tune in.
And tweet along while you watch using hashtag Campfire Christmas.
Thank you so much for joining, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, Tori. So good to see you.
Bye.